Hi students, I think we have covered the first part of the chemical reaction engineering, uh, the so called the kinetics. You should know the stoichiometry, you should know what are the different kinds of reactions are there, how to find out the rate of reactions. Okay, the basic concepts we have covered, for the time being. Now we are slowly moving into the design of the reactor. Before our reactor designing part starts, I would like to show you different equipments in our chemical reaction engineering lab. I will take you to the small tour that what our students were performed during their semester times. Okay, right now we are not conducting any such reactions, but I am trying to show you what are the vast varieties of reactors we have, and every reactor is is a completely operational. The students enjoy while they performing the experiments during their semesters. And let us go and take you to the lab tour. Dear students, right now we are in the chemical reaction engineering lab in Pandit Deendayal Energy University, and what you see here is the tank. It's a batch reactor where you can feed in the reactants, and there is a stirrer attached to it, and the rectangular box you are seeing here, it's a temperature controlled bath. That means you can conduct the reactions by maintaining the temperature by pouring the water inside, and you can set the temperature on the control panel. And batch reactor, to mix the reactants well, there is a stirrer has been provided. One stirrer is given to the batch reactor, and second stirrer is given to the heating bath. Normally we use the water as a heating medium. So this is the I can talk because now I can precisely control the temperature of the reaction, and it's a batch reactor. There is nothing flowing in and flowing out. Then it is termed as isothermal batch reactor. Okay, let us go to the another reactor now. The one which you are currently seeing is the continuous stirrer tank reactor, and which is different from that of a batch reactor. As you can see, the reactants, the feed can flow from the overhead tank at the top through this the rotameter. Through this rotameter I can control the flow into the tank. So by controlling the flow into the tank, I can operate, and I can open the valves, so that if I close these two valves and open this valve, that means I am operating at this volume. Okay, if I am closing these two valves and open this valve, that means an operating volume is this much. That means I can able to control at what volume I can work with this continuous stirrer tank reactor. The feed is completely continuously coming in with a fixed flow rate, so that I can vary the flow rates, and sample will be taken from here and measure the concentration of the reactant, which is A. So I can measure the concentration. The whole idea is to, if I get a concentration of any reactant, automatically I can calculate all the rate kinetic parameters. And here what you are watching is a plug flow reactor, and there is a straight pipe in which the reaction happens, and depending upon the conversions, depending expected, and we can able to vary the flow rates of A and B. Here we have the two rotameters, and these two rotameters have the feed molecule, I can able to control the A and B flow rates through the overhead tank. So depending upon the flow rates, I can maintain and different conversions in the particular reactor. And at the end of the reactor, you can see the sample port is there, where you can able to draw the samples and find out the concentrations of A or concentrations of B, which are maybe of interest to you. Here what you see is the packed bed reactor. Okay, you can see a tube is filled with the packings, right? I can able to pump reactant A and reactant B into the packed bed reactor at different flow rates, whichever I am interested in. And the feed for the two rotameters comes from the overhead tank, which I am going to fill with the reactant A and B, because there is a pump connected to it, so that I can able to vary the flow rates. This is about the packed bed reactor. Here what you are seeing is a semi batch reactor. That means one of the reactants I can keep it inside the tank, and the second I can able to pump in through the floatometer, because as one concentration of A is inside the reactor and second is going to mix continuously from the rotameter. That is why it is the semi batch reactor. And this is what you are seeing, a tubular reactor or continuous flow reactor. As you can see, the coil kind of tube is existing here, where and initially the feed will pass through this rotameters to the coil reactor. That means a similar kind of plug flow reactor. Then it goes into the CSTR. It is kind of PFR, and it is next it is followed by the CSTR. It is the two reactors in series. And this particular reactor is called, we use it for the dissolution studies of benzoic acid. As you can see, and there is a jacket in which the stirrer is placed. Right now the stirrer is not there. Normally it is fitted with solid benzoic acid. What happens, we rotate at a fixed RPM at dipped in the water, because water is filled with a certain temperature. Now the benzoic acid pellet will be attached to this stirrer. Now we can able to control the temperature, water temperature, as well as the stirrer speed. Based on that, mass transfer coefficient of the benzoic acid can be evaluated. And what reactor you are seeing here is the continuous stirrer tank reactor. Now earlier you have seen only single feed is going into the system. Now you can see here the rotameter of A and B. That means two feeds can simultaneously pumped into this reactor, and the three valves are existing here. Three valves are here, and to fix the volume. If I want to work with the volume at this level, that means I'll close the upper valve and the lower valve. If I want to work at this volume level, then I have to open this valve, I have to close this and this particular valve. Like that, I can able to control the volume to work with. What you're seeing here is a recycle reactor. Okay, and where if complete conversion cannot be achieved in a single pass, what happens after the end, we have to bifurcate the stream and resend into the reactor at the top. This is the what I can say is a recycled bed reactor. Here what you are seeing is a basket reactor. That means it is primarily used in the heterogeneous catalysis. In this container, box, there will be stirrer and the catalyst is sticked to the stirrer. When the stirrer is revolving, the catalyst attached to it is also revolving. So because wherever the reactions, the catalyst is necessary, people generally go for spinning basket reactor, analogous to continuous stirrer tank reactor. Here what you are seeing here is three reactors in series, because if complete conversion cannot be achieved in one reactor, people go for this kind of arrangements. Presently it is in reactors in series, reactor 1, 2, 3, and after partial conversion from the reactor 1, feed is going to the reactor 2, where the second conversion happens, and similarly, and after that it will go to the reactor 3, and further conversion happens. Normally it's a kind of CSTRs in series, and the float to the continuous stirrer tank reactors can be operated through the rotameters given here. The feed to the rotameter comes from the top, and there is overhead tank. There is a tank from which through pump we can send the reactants to the overhead tank. What you are seeing here is adiabatic batch reactor. That means if you want to conduct the reaction in temperature controlled environment, and basically I keep the reactants in the insulated container, okay, in this insulated container. So for exothermic reactions, normally we keep the thermometer into the reactor, and we notice what is the temperature that is rising because of the reaction. Based on the temperature rise of the reaction, we can get activation energy values and the other parameters that is necessary required in adiabatic reactor. This is our overall picture of chemical reaction engineering lab. As you can see, the entire chemical reaction engineering lab in Pandit Deendayal University is completely filled with the different kinds of reactors setup. So students work in groups, I mean normally 4 to 5 people in a group, and they have to conduct different reactions and in the different reactors. Normally few equipments operate during the CRE 1 class, and few equipments normally we operate in the another semester when we teach CRE 2, that is heterogeneous reactions. Yeah, I hope you have seen our chemical reaction engineering lab. Normally we run few experiments in semester 6, that is CRE 1, where we talk about the homogeneous catalysis, and we operate few equipments that is in the 6th semester in the name of CRE 2. And I have already shown you the mechanical unit operations lab. You can find my playlist, that mechanical unit operations subject lectures. And we also have many sophisticated labs, and process dynamics and control lab, heat transfer lab, fluid mechanics labs, and many other center of excellences we have, example, to conduct the different researches. Okay, I personally recommend, if there are anyone nearby, that you can visit our university. It is in Gujarat, right, in the capital Gandhinagar. Right, whenever you find it, you can come anytime, and you can make an approval through email or anything, right? The and you can come anytime. So we are going to show you the different lab facilities if you are really interested to see. And primarily in this lecture series, I am going to tell you, we are going to design right batch reactor, CSTR, that is continuous stirred tank reactor, and third is plug flow reactor, and finally we may see that packed bed reactor. In general, packed bed reactor is used for the most of the cases the heterogeneous catalysis, and still let us concentrate few lectures on the packed bed reactor also, but primarily we are looking at the batch reactor, plug flow reactor, and continuous stirred tank reactor. Okay, the thing which I have shown you in the laboratory. Hope you have enjoyed the lab tour. I will meet up with the next lectures. Thank you.